Hey guys. Things to think about. Keep researching the same spot. Go to a little, do it with safety. Go to a place where not a lot of people go. Some of you people that live in those multi-million-dollar areas, I mean millions of people areas, there are places you just have to look for sign, kind of. I've been in some of the rich areas and they leave lots of undeveloped stuff, and they leave lots of it without working on trails. But you go and find those kind of trails. This is kind of a park trail here, but you can kind of see it's in, I'll just keep going that way, it's in a wonderland. It's hooked up to everything. It's Grand Central for the Fraser Valley. It's one of the prime pieces of property. Prime, like the president would say. President of Pillsbury's Foods over here. Anyways, beauty. So where are we? There. Where was I going? Oh, there's so many of these guys that I gotta tell you. Remember I used to talk about those marker things? I see doors, windows, and such like those still. Because those are lesser in dense areas. Denser populated areas where there's a lot more of them. Like this place now, in the last 2 years, how much it's changed, is what I was learning to read was only this heavy that day. Now it's as heavy as my head 2 years later. So I could read, once I started being able to read stuff like this, we can think in some ways that there was some kind of a weird tree here rubbing this and stuff like that, but there wasn't. Somebody else was just working it. See right here, got a little claw. Hopefully you can see me there. I think I see some striations that those might be claw marks. So stuff always adds in my portfolio. Everything is connected. I don't like the mistake I made. I made a mistake of not taking a picture of a guy's car and stuff when I walked away here. But everything is connected. So when people try to call them, say, people of the forest, and then the next person says Bigfoot of the forest, the next, I nicknamed them, and I'd never heard the nickname before or since, directed towards the beings that I started to realize I was following at first, and I nicknamed them. Not just called them Bigfoot and Sasquatch, but I also called them woodsmen of the forest. So, so here's a perfect example of a non-cord branch. This branch hardly went into the tree at all. Look at the edging on the tree. You can tell by the girth of this that it's coming off of an alright tree. Right? And then it has all this extra build-up around here and stuff. If you look at it, you can sometimes see scoring in it. Because it's really a skin branch. It ends up having a core, but it really isn't being pulled from the core of the tree. So that's what makes it different. And they're fast and easy to grow. Why do you care, Tinman? Well, on that thing I care because it's a different growing system. Is it a different breathing system? How does that tree survive in our environment, as opposed to how we've educated ourselves in, you know, how we believe that they're doing it. But remember, we figured that stuff out, what, a couple hundred years ago? You know, if you go back to the original history books and stuff, that's all the other guys do, is they just copy from there. They don't go out and do months and months of studies of sleeping beside a tree to see if see, when you see a rock that's been placed in a spot, you see some marks on here. Let's take a look at this. Nothing. But when you see something like that and it seems obscured, out of place, don't be afraid to take a look at it. There's some pretty obvious footprints there. Don't seem like they're months old or anything. Let's check this out and see if anybody's touched it. A girl here. Look at this. They've set it up for people to have fires here, but I don't know if anybody has. You would obviously probably think that somebody would touch this, and I really don't think it's even really been touched. We'll build up a wall there. You see that rock building right there to make a little shelter behind there for a little varmint, you know? What do you think these ones could be doing underneath? Do you think they could have some rocks that are piled around them bigger down there underneath like this? But instead of using little rocks, or maybe in some cases using little rocks, but you're good at balance. Like, you know how to do balance techniques, like say, that rock there that's on one spot there. I'm going to zoom in on it. Okay. Now I'm going to back off and we'll go to the other side, because I don't know if those two rocks were there last time. Watchers who know where we're standing, let me know, please. Let's start making some teamwork on this stuff. You know, it's hard for me to end up bringing the unbelievable information to the people in a way it could be presented. So 3 spots. Get down a bit here. So that spot, that one back there, and then right there, right in the middle there. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Now if you just take a look around, so you look at that spot, you could go there and maybe there's another big spot attached to it, and another one and another one. Like, how big can the voids be down there? One thing I'm going to tell you is that I'm suspicious that maybe an overwhelming amount of the big rocks get broken up somewhat. But from what's been doing here and stuff, they've really brought up the big ones up on top here, haven't they? These are all great big fannies. Oh, okay. Good, other big ones, good ones there. So, you guys are getting what I'm saying. I don't have to keep repeating. You see this big pile of wood here? Yeah, it could have been us. Do I think it was us? No, I don't think it was us. And it's kind of funny. Well, I guess people maybe break them up to some extent like this. You don't see them breaking them up quite to that extent to let them cool off, because I've done that before. I bet you guys have too. Yeah, we've walked around here a bit. And I haven't really... Oh, yes I have focused. We focused on a hole where I put a camera through it. And it was right there, you guys. Was that rock in the way? This is the spot, you guys. This might have been here. That might have been there. Yeah, I guess it might have been there. Let's look at this. Yeah. It's growing on that rock too. So it was here. See that figuring? I've looked at this from down below there, and yeah, it's very cool. And I've explained this, and I'll explain it before. This is a great big rock that can get broken all the way down to these fine rocks. This is in part what they do. So if you're walking around here, or you're even with me, and you start to say, hey, how come that one's so shiny, and that one's got some whatever, it's not necessarily glistening little rocks. It might be one that you're picking up that has been used as a chipper, or whatever. So it's a lot of fun doing that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, this thing is all collapsed here. Okay, cool. This is all, like, we're not getting, this is all new. Wow. We've done a big shift, so we're going to go down and look. Here. Probably laughing, but there's reasons to my madness, really. Oh, that was my left side, and that was stupid. See, that's my dad's blood in me. Deciding I'd rather hurt myself instead of stop, think for a second, analyze what you're about to do. I just heard some kind of a peep or chirp up on the wall before I turned away, right up through there, where the waterfall climb is. So this will be all different. Oh, there was some kind of a hole around where we... Oh yeah, like that looks like that goes down a ways, man. I can't really see all down there. Let's try a zoomer. See if you can pick up on the lighting a bit. Hello? That's my green. See, that's what I don't like, you guys. See that green light? Where is it? There it is. Anyways, I don't like it. Why? What do you think about it? If we can see it. Yee-hoo! Doesn't like my heavy breathing, the way I hold the camera, or anything else. Keep it to yourself, because you wouldn't be getting down on your hands and knees yourself and looking in here with a rocket falling up your head. Would you? You know what I think when I look here? Is I think about those ferrets that are rat hunters that you train to rat hunt. So remember I talk about a lot of moss replanting and stuff, replenishing and stuff, right guys? Are you getting a grasp on that better? Whoa. No way, I can feel wind drafting through here, no doubt. No doubt. Oops. I don't, you know, you can't always trust the way that they might set things up. Oh yeah, look at it. No, it just stops pretty quick. You just don't really know what shifter they can do around here to get rid of the... There's that irritating Tinman feller. Let's see what we can do with him today. Take my hand off my wrist bracelet. See now right here, imagine that just, we're looking downwards right now. We're not, we're looking out, we can see some sunlight and stuff. once again, that was just an example for people to realize that it can be being made with little rock and with big rock. When you see stuff like this, I think there's a chance that some of this can be stuff that was demolished within, and it's on its transport out. I've noticed that before down to gravel. I've noticed it down before just what seemed to be mud and sand and stuff, where I just felt a weird, when I was saying my wear there, or a weird, it might have came from the plane, but it gave me on my right ear as I was turning a bass rumble. So stopping mid-sentence and sharing and just going on with what I'm looking for. If that point wasn't finished, you asked me if you're interested. If you're not interested, you figured it out. That's good. Look up here, see? I feel a little bit safer here. Kind of cool. And one thing about it, you're never gonna, as of yet, find much of an indication of food remnants and such is part of my thought process. Alrighty, let's get down here. Show you guys a little bit different of an angle from out here, because when we do that, we're going to realize, well, we'll have different shots of it and stuff. I'm looking around and all the big rocks from on these other things have been taken away, and they're all built into that one over there now. See that one over there? This hillside over here, it's all got it's like it's got its rooftop on it and everything. It's pretty expanded, but that one did resemble a little bit more like this one in my recall. So what we're basically seeing, I don't even know where the mic is on this thing, so sorry if I've done that. What we're seeing is where they continue working on this mountainside here, this cliffside. Why? Because that's what they do. Do we care? Yeah, we do, because they're starting to do stuff where it's costing us. We can figure out how to get around there. I can see spots over there on that side where they're working towards the road there. If you're seeing up in there. They're undermining. They do a lot of what I call, you could call it maybe a cliffhanger from Sylvester Stallone movie or something. But what I call them is overhead shelves, because they're ready to come down. So one thing, if you went right up to the side of the mountain like this, that's where you can start to see if they're doing a shelf thing. You see down here, there's a couple of little shelves. Nothing big up here or anything like that. A couple of little ones up in there. I can look at this rock face and tell that that's been rechanged, or is still under a certain amount of change. I've had my boy walk up around in this stuff. So, you know, his body reference is going to be able to, you know, tell us stuff. Do we need to know that history? No. As soon as you guys start believing in stuff like that, then a lot of this history will probably just wash away sitting there on Tinman. But, and everybody will just start creating their own information on it. So, peace out. Getting close to the end of the tape, so I'm going to do a zoom then. Thanks for sticking it out on this full load. I think I'll maybe do it as a full load and do it as 2 parts. I'm not too sure yet. Cheers.